Good to see you. Yeah. Don't make such strain for yourself.
We're sorry, guys. I miss all of you.
It's good to see you. I don't think so. Thank you. How come you have hand out?
It makes it easier.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, like to bring us in.
Especially when the poems are big and long and.
Sharon, I wanted to make you aware of something. Every time I visit my father's stone, that's 3 times a year, you wrote the 12 commandments, strength over weakness, you know, forgiveness over revenge. Along with the Kaddish, I read it, I had it printed on like lilac or lavender paper, laminated, and that's one of the things I read in my father's stone every time I come to visit. That's a beautiful set of prayers you came up with.
Thank you, thank you.
Beautiful mind and a beautiful lady.
Thank you. I think that's a short version. Actually, I'll take this one.
Okay.
I'm not in the shot, am I? I'm not in the shot.
No, it's only her.
Well, you're photogenic, aren't you? You're photogenic, aren't you?
Well, I don't want to. You want to look at her?
You're on a sidetrack.
Good evening, fellow poets and guests. It's always a pleasure to see the familiar and friendly faces of fellow poets. My name is Sharon Lampert, and it's that time of the year when I read the 9/11 memorial poem. How many years have I been here reading this poem? Since
it happened.
Since it happened.
Yes.
Since it happened. Of course, I'd like to invite all of you to participate in the reading of the poem. And I'll read the verses, and you're welcome to read the refrain. And the refrain is spiraling downward, upward we stand united. And then in the second, there's the 5th verse, there's let's roll. And of course then there's singing. And there's also a Osama Peekaboo, where are you? And if there's anything else that you feel like chiming in on, feel free. So let's practice. It's been a whole year. So the refrain is spiraling downward, upward we stand united. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Spiraling downward, upward we stand united.
And there are 7 verses. So here we go. Maniacal terrorists strike at the Big Apple of America's eye. Famed majestic landmarks, the Twin Towers crumble, imploding into billions of bits of molten steel, jagged glass, seared human flesh, and flailing broken bones, escaping spiked and surging fireballs, staff vaulted through windows. A canine-toothed wing of the Pentagon is broken in the aftermath of the devastation. A massive death toll of innocents remains lodged, buried alive, 50 feet under, feeling the cold-blooded horrid rubble, a steely glint of hope. 5 warm, bloodied survivors are unearthed. Every save, a divine miracle. Subways evacuate. First aid crews take to the streets and man the flaming towers. Spiraling downward, upward we stand united. The flattened, the first company of New York City's finest firefighters, police, and first aid crews crash and burn inside the cascading avalanche of steel daggers. The 110-story twin towers are brought to their saber knees and then to their foiled ankles. Grieving, a 47-story sister building 7 collapses in distress into ragged ruins. Billowing nearby, brother buildings in the zone remain ablaze. World Trade Center mass exodus. Pyre and plumes of smoke hover. Flying concrete shards ensue. Repugnant jet fuel raining dust and debris. Thousands of frightful fleeing bystanders are entombed. Fatalities, makeshift morgues, ferry the sacrificial corpses to New Jersey. The pile, 1.2 billion tons of scorched scraps are hauled to the hill of Fresh Kills landfill. DNA matches, a gruesome, grueling, and grisly task. Steam still rising, pickaxes poke for parts. Dogs sniff and succor. Ground zero. Dug up remains are draped with the U.S. flag, saluted and reburied. Every find a divine miracle. FDNY firefighters, Jack Tipping finds his fallen son, John Jr. Tipping. Or carnivorous crater, vestiges of an office complex in the dangerous pit of dignified souls. Hard hat archaeologists dig among the ruins. 13 bodies, 10 fearless firemen, and 3 fearful civilians are found 30 feet below ground. High-flying stars and stripes fly below at half-staff. Busy bees swarming, scalpeled surgeons, bedpan nurses, and selfless volunteers man the hospitals. Boiling vigorously, New Yorkers from every mosaic melting hot pot take to the streets and wait for hours to donate their warm, vital blood. Spiraling downward, upward we stand united. Slamming, ramming into grade A U.S. steel, 4 American jumbo jets are commandeered. Flight crews are maced by razor blade box cutters. Pilots are knifed. Passengers use their cell phone. I love you are their final words. Diabolical suicide bombers. American men, women, and children transfigured into 4 human missiles. 8:45 a.m. Flight 11, Boeing 767, Boston to LA. 81 Americans, 11 crew members, crash and burn into the North Tower, NYC. 9:03 a.m. Flight 175, Boeing 767, Boston to LA. 56 Americans, 9 crew members, crash and burn into the South Tower, NYC. 9:45 a.m. Flight 77, Boeing 757, Washington to LA. 58 Americans, 6 crew members, crash and burn into the Pentagon in D.C. 10 a.m. Flight 93, Boeing 757, New Jersey to San Francisco. 38 Americans, 7 crew members, crash and burn into an empty field in Pennsylvania by unsung heroes. Let's roll! Federal aviation officials ground flights. 4,000 planes take a nosedive at the nearest airport. Soaring sky high, safe and sound, squawking seagulls with whimpering wings remain in flight and brave the fight. Zippered up bridges, tunnels, and highways lock gates. Fiercely, 5 warships, frigate ships, and aiming bullseye, guided missile destroyers man the New York coast. 2 aircraft carriers, USS George Washington and USS John F. Kennedy, man the New York skies. Operation Noble Eagle, combat air patrol to shoot 'em up and shoot 'em down. In steely determination, it is business, but not business as usual. Spiraling downward, upward we stand united. It is more than a terrorist attack. It is an act of war. It is a national tragedy. The free and democratic world is attacked. White House evacuates. United Nations evacuates. Treasury evacuates. State Department evacuates. Justice Department evacuates. World Bank evacuates. All federal office buildings evacuate. Israel evacuates all diplomatic missions. 12 months of merciless jihad. Soulless suicide bombers maim, mutilate, and murder Jews. All New York State government offices evacuate. New York's primary elections are postponed. Trading is suspended. The American Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and New York Stock Exchange, 110 stories, Chicago's Sears Tower evacuates. Homeless, a frozen zone, 20,000 New York City residents are displaced. Chartering a Saudi jet on a one-way ticket to Mecca, 11 Bostonian bin Ladens evacuate. Slumbering FBI, CIA, INS, and NSA agents rouse. It is the first war of the 21st century. No man's land, hermetically sealed. The President of the USA is whisked away. Blinding black smoke and clouds raining ash. Heroic Lady Liberty stands tall in the New York harbor.
Spiraling downward, upward we stand united.
Rudolph Giuliani addresses New York. Deaths are more than any of us can bear. Senator Hillary D. Rodham Clinton addresses New York. We will not be cowed by evil, despicable acts of terror. President George W. Bush addresses the nation. These acts shattered steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbored them. Whether we bring our enemies to justice or bring justice to our enemies, justice will be done. Nefarious doings. Suspect numero uno is the evil one, cannibal Saudi militant Osama bin Laden, and his vile circus of vicious cavemen, virulent videos made visible, rallying all Muslims with venom and vitriol. God willing, America's end is near. Upward, united we stand, Operation Infinite Justice, seek and destroy Al-Qaeda. Operation Enduring Freedom, target cells, villainous metastatizing cancers. Flight 93 terrorist manhunt, who is the 20th hijacker? Ramzi Omar or Ramzi bin al-Shib? Americans man their maps and ask, where the hell is Afghanistan? World War III, worldwide coalition bombers versus terror bandit troglodytes. October 7th, billion-dollar bombs drop. Tora Bora caves are wiped off the map. Osama bin Laden, peekaboo, where are you? Taliban women see the light of day. Taliban men will never again see the light of day. Anthrax, biological, nuclear, and radiological weapons. Inhalation, evacuation, annihilation. Our nation, in our fight against terrorism, will uphold the doctrine of either you're with us or against us. And the rockets' red glare and bombs bursting in air. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world. And no one will keep that light from shining.
Spiraling downward.
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her. Spiraling downward, upward we stand united. Heaven sent, where 70 virgins await each Islamic martyr on a homicidal suicidal mission. 19 corrosive terrorists pulverized into an Arabian desert sandstorm, desolate and deserted. No bad guys, no car chase, no planes, no black boxes, no survivors, no witnesses, no testimonies, no revenge to seek, no justice to exact, no war to win, and no Hollywood movie. Arise, awake, New World Order and Office of Homeland Security. Cockpit deadbolts, armed pilots, and martial arts stewardesses. No curbside check-in, and Arab profiling strip searches. An inferno, charred bodies incinerate into ashes. Few funerals, many memorial tributes. Urns of World Trade Center dirt comfort. Cremated, sobbing, closure. Weeping widows, wailing orphans, donations flood the Red Cross. International terrorism, a worldwide menace. Terrorists, a worldwide monstrosity. Arise, reborn, one true imperium, a phoenix. Names of loved ones are inscribed on the walls of the observation deck. Sacred ground, a shrine. The hatched angels hover, protecting the twin towers rebuilt. Lighting a blowtorch, ironworkers, engineers, teamsters, laborers, and dock builders take turns. Last steel column of 2 World Trade Center, 58 tons, number 1001B is cut down at 8:17 p.m. Heartbroken, resting in peace, Archangel, the chief architect, Minoru Yamasaki, said, "A beautiful solution of form and silhouette. Worldwide, democracy, liberty, freedom, prosperity, goodness, security, and peace, we shall overcome.
Spiraling downward, upward we stand
united." A cataclysmic collision course between good and evil, angels aflight and devils afoot. Thou shalt not murder. The first set of twin tablets of the 10 Commandments crumble into rubble and are re-engraved. Operation Infinite Circle. Sin's aftershocks, fear, disbelief, terror, rage, grief, depression, revenge, numbness, and nightmares. And 2,990 children are without parents. Twin Tower totals: 90,000 tourists a day, 50,000 employed, 25,000 rescued, 35,000 in subway evacuated, and 2/3 empty airplanes. 8,700 casualties, each story a miracle. A raging fireball, 82% of her body burned. Lauren Manning lives. Innocence, fatalities from 92 nations, 343 firefighters, 265 airplane passengers, 184 at the Pentagon, and 25,000 people work at the Pentagon. Mournfully, 2,749 people are consumed. Outstretched, God's hand of mercy, love, compassion, and nerves of steel vanquished the evil incarnate, God willing.
Spiraling downward, upward we
stand united. Thank you so much for participating this year and every year. Good to be back.
So good to see you.